No idea if it's recording, but I'll be looking away from the camera as well because the viewer thingy is over there. This is a different camera than I usually work with. You've seen me use this camera with the treehouse. That's when I just got it new. This first part is just a build up to get that that actual thickness that you want to have on that fender extension. I'll be moving over to another picture of that Kahn Defender that I'm building, just so you can have a look and see what kind of fenders I'm talking about. There you go. This is a square bit. Not sure how the light is, but you can tell that it's a hollow piece. It's 8mm by 4mm, and it will allow me to get a bit of a thickness over here in this area. I took off those molded in rivets over here that come on that Gelande 2 RC4WD drive body. Body's not properly lined up right now, but it doesn't matter because I'm not gonna get close to the wheels. I'm going to end up on the wheel arches over here. This bit I kept it a bit shorter because the front and the back opening of those fenders, I want that to be visible. It doesn't have to be functional or whatnot, because you know, this car is not going to have like breakneck speeds of any sort. So just to make sure that I can mimic that as well, I'm keeping this a tiny bit shorter because I also need to build something up vertically, and that needs to be kept back a tiny bit in order to get a bit of a shadow effect that will represent that vent. Kind of just like I did with the front fender. Let me take that off real quick. Here as well, you can see that this part appears to be solid, and then over here you got that vent that I'm mimicking. Looking at that tiny little screen over here just to check if the camera actually focuses on the part. There you go. So right now, let me get that picture up over here. Right now I'm going to build this up, and then I'm going to build up those vertical bits. What you're doing when you're making that frame, you make sure that you do both sides at the same time. Let me see, because this is the wrong part, of course. Pure chaos over here on the table. Here we got it. So I don't make just one, I make two. I make it for both sides at the same time. Same goes for the vertical bit. Now the front fender curves back along this line. It's a bit higher up. It's somewhere at 1/3 of the front hinge of the front door. Same goes for the back over here. This actually lines up with, let me take off the shell so I can show you. The Kahn fenders, they actually line up with the top of the rear bumper. So here as well I took off the two rivets that you would find on that RC4WD drive body, and I shaved that clean completely. So I can keep that back a tiny bit and get the same angle in the fender over here in the back. In the front it's a different story. The front of the rear fender, that one goes all the way down to this line over here, where you got that bottom profile thing going on, which is also a good thing because I don't want to cover these up. That way I can still use those two mounting holes on each side to connect the body to the chassis later on. So you want to keep a lot of stuff in mind when working. And since I got the front fender here right now, I'm still bad at muting my stuff, so sorry for that. You can tell that I made a frame with a frame inside of it. These are made by Arches RC light guards for a Jeep Wrangler. I trimmed off a tiny corner over here, and by doing that I was able to fit them right inside this hole. And I just have that edge that I need to cover up, and for that edge I made this teeny tiny part like a frame with a beveled edge, and that will cover up the whole thing and eventually keep it in place. We'll also make sure that I can do a bit of different stuff with paintwork. So the main part of the car is going to be one basic color, and then stuff like those vents are going to be a different color, most likely black or something like that. So it's actually, this is built up from two pieces. Simple math, 2 times 2 is 4, so you got 4mm over here, you got 2 times 2 over here. So I'm doing the same thing in the rear. Got this bar that will sit over there, and then to angle out the rest I got a strip of 2mm styrene, which I will flare out over here in the bottom, so I get that angle in the fender. And then I said Defender, not Defender, and then I got one strip on top of it, so I get a good thickness. I use these strips as well to put the line on the original wheel arch over here. By doing that, you know how far that stick on part is going to come out, and what line you need to follow in order to make a cardboard template first. This as well, I made it for both sides at the same time, so I got 2 of everything. It makes it a bit simpler. It will make sure that you don't need to measure up everything again once you get to the other side of the car. So well, that's a good tip that I can give you, just double up on everything instantly. Simple. This is packaging material from a Proline product, I believe. It still says Pro Com. I just kept this against the shell over here. Had a look where I ended up with that first line that I put on, and then I cut this out accordingly. You can tell that it's not completely accurate, so I'm missing a tiny bit over there, and it's a bit too long over here, it's a bit too short over there. But that's all good, because that's why you make a template first. After that you copy that template on your styrene, and you keep in mind the stuff that you wanted to alter. You can tell over here with some sloppy writing I put a plus 1.5 over there, just so I got a bit of a guideline on what I needed to alter from that template to the styrene. So in brief, if I take some regular tape, just lay this over here, just take 2 tiny bits, put this somewhat in position. Those Kahn fenders, they don't go all the way up to this line. That would have been a lot easier, but I go kind of halfway. I will switch back to a picture again, to a bit of a close-up, so you see what I'm talking about. It's the same in the front, so you need to work really accurate if you want to mimic it. Back to this, because this is what I was going to explain you, or try to explain you. This is at least how I do it. And as I said in the previous video, I'm very new to this. I've never done this before. I'm having a really good time working with styrene. You can probably tell from me being kind of hyper over it. But I was super intimidated to get started with this stuff at first. And then when I actually bit the bullet and decided to just give it a go, and I tried out the first bits, I decided it was really fun. But it doesn't matter. This is just to build up the thickness, so you can have a look at what that fender, what that largest part, what it will actually do once it's on, if it sits in the proper place and whatnot. So I can get rid of this template right now, and I can put the fender on. And you can tell that that has a pretty nice fit to it. So what I need to do right now is I can basically start building up this frame. So I can glue that 4x8 piece. I can glue that into place. I can just mark it down on the back over here. I can glue those other 2 bits into place. Then I need to find a way to fill this out, so eventually I'll be able to flare this towards the body, and the same goes over here. I need to make sure that those angled parts, that they're the exact same size as they are on the front fender, because that will make it look coherent. If I don't do that, then it will look like I just cluttered something on, and I don't want that. So with onto that, I'll be taking all these parts off. I'm going to line them up completely, and I'm going to put them on my cutting mat. Most likely I'm also going to clean up a tiny bit, because it's chaos here. And I'll angle the camera up a tiny bit different, and I'll show you what I'm doing. Well, that concludes it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Next episode I'll be messing around with glue and stuff, most likely. So that's going to be funny, because at some point I will make the mistake of having glue on my hand and going like this, and then pulling my cheek off. So if you want to see that, hit the subscribe button. If you want to leave me a message of any sort, leave me a comment in the box below. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you around.